All right. Fox News headline, DeSantis calls Florida land of sanity and slams Biden policies in his inaugural address. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Tuesday praised the Sunshine State as the land of liberty and land of sanity while slamming the floundering federal establishment in Washington, D.C., the Biden administration, and laying out his policies for the months and years ahead as he was sworn in for a second term. DeSantis, who's considered a likely GOP 2024 presidential contender, delivered his inaugural address on the steps of the state capitol in Tallahassee on Tuesday after a decisive 19-point re-election victory. Now, it was a great speech and all, and I think it's worth a very good speech, at least, worth watching. But this was the best part. Here's just a 20-second clip. And this may not seem very remarkable to you, what he says here, but this, to me, was my favorite part of his speech. Listen to this.
Florida must always be a great place to raise a family. We will enact more family-friendly policies to make it easier to raise children, and we will defend our children against those who seek to rob them of their innocence.
There you go. Very simple. Like I said, doesn't appear to be anything revolutionary there, and there isn't. But this should be the Republican Party's platform going into 2024. And this is, if you want to know what my political ideology is at this point, that's it, what you just heard there. That's the whole thing. Protect families, protect children. There you go. That's it. That's the fundamental political platform, and that's what every Republican ought to be talking about. And if the term conservatism means anything, it ought to be conserving that. I mean, most fundamentally, as I always talk about, it's conserving basic truth. And it's also conserving and protecting the family and the safety and innocence of children. That should be the marching orders. And not only is that the right platform and the right mission and what needs to be done, but it's also a winning political message. Forget about what you've heard from squishy establishment Republicans for years and years, who still to this day, they will go down with the ship claiming that all anybody cares about is their wallet and the financial bottom line. And so just talk about tax cuts and all of that. That's all anybody cares about. That's not true. People care about money. They care about their financial well-being. Of course they do. We all do. But they care about those things primarily because of how that affects the safety and stability of their families and their children. Because even more basic than the financial concern is that concern about your family, about your kids. This is why I always say you gotta think about, what do people wake up in the morning thinking about? Okay, they don't wake up in the morning thinking about tax cuts. Nobody does. If you're a parent, you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about your kids, you're thinking about your family, you're thinking about your spouse. Like those are the first thoughts in your mind. And politically, if you're speaking to that, forget about the kitchen table issues. I'm talking about before you even get to the kitchen table. Okay, before you sit down at the kitchen table for breakfast, what are the things that you're thinking about? And it's that. And politically, if you're speaking to those issues, then that is going to be a winner every time for almost everybody. And that'll do it for this portion of the show. As we move over to the members block, hope to see you there. If not, talk to you tomorrow. Godspeed.